associated with ISF or India SME Forums in the last 5 years and helped to reach out to market in a much more better way, helped to even reorganize the way we do business. So we were one of the companies where in the HR and compliance space where we were invited, and the entire amount was paid by the government. That was a wonderful thing, and the whole experience was very, very good. The entire team is fantastic. They're always available for helping you out. They just a WhatsApp message away or a call away. And personally, I have never found an issue in reaching out to them. And at the same time, once we are engaged, a lot of opportunities has come my way. So I think anyone who's joining India SME Forum needs to keep, if they are very much interested to expand their business, they're very much interested how to expand the business, how to get money, how to get business planning, how to do the sales planning. I think India SME Forum really does well.
I'm associated with India SME Forum and my experience with them is incredible. The whole team is working 24/7 dedicatedly to help entrepreneurs in the country, especially the women entrepreneurs who belong from underprivileged sections, who is having language barriers, who doesn't have the ease of access to avail benefits and opportunities which government is providing. For entrepreneurs like us, those who are working on small scale, for which it is very difficult for us to understand the guidelines given by government, so that we can work wholeheartedly, we can have ease of access, we can have ease to finances, we can have ease to opportunities.
We got associated with India SME Forum in 2013. We got exposed to a lot of new business opportunities and as well as international opportunities. And the end-to-end experience has been phenomenal through India SME Forum. They have been a great host and working towards common goals of betterment of SMEs in India.
Thank you SME for sponsoring my Las Vegas trip, which proved to be a very productive, profitable and encouraged trip.
हम लोग मैन्युफैक्चरर्स एंड एक्सपोर्टर्स हैं फ्लोर मिल्स एंड फूड प्रोसेसिंग मशीन्स के, और मुझे आईएसएफ के यूरोपियन कांग्रेस में जाने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त हुआ, जो कि पोलैंड में आयोजित हुआ था। इसमें जहां हमको बिजनेस की अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली, वहीं पर बहुत से लोगों से मिलने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त हुआ एंड ये एक बेहतरीन अवसर था हमारे लिए अपने बिजनेस को यूरोप में बढ़ाने के लिए, और इसके लिए मैं आईएसएफ और एमएसएमई मिनिस्ट्री एंड डिपार्टमेंट दोनों का धन्यवाद देता हूँ। जय हिंद।
My career got a boom when I connected myself with SME Forum. Here, they made me aware of GEM and also told me about the various schemes given by the Ministry of MSME to all the women entrepreneurs. Not only this, they also enlightened me to market my product in a different way, giving it a new dimension. Thank you SME Forum for all your support and guidance. Much appreciated.
India Small and Medium Enterprises Forum had given me an opportunity to showcase Northeast India's handmade product internationally by sponsoring my visit. The networking opportunities were very helpful, connecting me with different business people and also to understand the international market. Right now we are in the process of developing a sales-sustaining village model in Manipur, including a project to extract essential oil and to cultivate aromatic plants.
India SME Forum has helped me to participate in international market and explore business opportunities, and even it's helped me to claim the cost of the education from the Ministry of MSME. ISF के जरिए मैंने पहली बार ग्लोबल मार्केट को समझा और उसमें काम करने के सर्विस स्टैंडर्ड को जाना।
We are from biotech healthcare industry. Genetics has been part of the India SME Forum for the last 6-7 years. It has brought us a lot of value and learning, and as a small industry benefits from part of this forum, I know as well as coming from the Government of India.
India SME Forum has given me a big platform, and it is because of the opportunity I could come into contact of a bigger network, which is proving me very much helpful for my business. I look forward for the same support and opportunities ahead from India SME Forum.
I would like to give my heartfelt thanks to India SME Forum for allowing me to participate in the Shakti 2020 Expo, which gave a big boost to my business and helped me to network. I would also like to thank them for making it free of cost, and I hope going forward I can participate in more shows and more expos.
Been associated with them for last 3 years, and the journey started by Global Space winning India SME Forum's SME 100 award, and since then they have helped entrepreneurs like me in many ways. Started with taking us to some international trips wherein it was a delegation for exploring business possibilities, and that gave us a lot of confidence and some opportunities which are critical for an organization of our size. India SME Forum has been a great support in terms of any other issues which crops up for budding entrepreneurs like us. They have a lot of informative sessions, a lot of relevant and filtered information which are very, very important for a entrepreneur like us who may be neck deep into our operations, but these things get ignored. I would like to describe them as an apt and an ideal association for a budding entrepreneur like me.
When others feared what was to come, you saw a sliver of light, opportunity. And while some try to go back, you're going all in, rethinking, reinventing, smashing through new barriers and old fears. And we're right there with you, in the trenches, still grinding, still climbing, as you rally and rise. You are the one who can make this whole world turn. So be bold, be brave, be unstoppable.
Namaskar and good afternoon. A very warm welcome to all who has joined us today for this special webinar series under the aegis of the India Export Initiative. I am Pranav Zundarao, Executive Director, India SME Forum. The India Export Initiative aims to orient over 1,000 potential MSMEs to become the first-time exporters in order to double the number of current active exporters, which includes around 5,000 women entrepreneurs. The initiative and the India Exports portal was launched last year on 29 September 2021 by the Union Minister of MSME, Sri Narayan Raneji. I take this opportunity to invite you all to visit the portal on www.indiaexports.com. Exports without an E. Registration on the portal is free and the information required to become an exporter is available in 9 languages. The initiative organizes sectoral webinars where we discuss specific sectoral export potential with different countries and sectoral opportunities with successful exporters, facilitators, experts, and policymakers. The webinar today is focused on automobile and auto ancillary sector, which have immense export potential and is one of the leading export items from India. With this, today I will share a brief on sector potential and opportunities for MSMEs. Can I please have the presentation? Export opportunities for MSMEs. Let me share a few facts about the automobile and the auto ancillary industry. Indian automobile industry contributes 6.4% to Indian GDP. Indian automobile industry contributes 35% to manufacturing GDP. Indian auto ancillary industry is one of the crucial industries in India. Indian auto ancillary industry contributes 2.3% to Indian GDP. In this slide, we can see that motor vehicle contributes 37% of total automobile and auto ancillary exports from India. Auto components contributes 33% of total automobile and auto ancillary exports from India. Two and three-wheelers contribute 15% of total automobile and auto ancillary exports from India. And when we talk about auto tires and tubes, which contributes 14% of automobile and auto ancillary exports from India. Now, when we talk about automobile and auto ancillary exports potential from India, we can see that North America stands $6.6 billion. That is the export potential from India. The EU, that is European Union, and the West Euro zone contributes around $4.2 billion as export potential. East Asia has $3.2 billion export potential, followed by Middle East by $7.8 billion, Southeast Asia by $1.6 billion, South and Central America by $1.1 billion. So thank you so much. Without taking more time, I would like to introduce you to our today's esteemed panel. We have Ms. Mercy Ipao Ma'am, Joint Secretary of Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Mercy Ma'am was also among the 10 directors across multiple ministries and departments, including Women and Child Development, Education, Mines, Skill Development, and Entrepreneurship, Civil Aviation, Cabinet Secretariat. Welcome to you, ma'am. We have Mr. Dinesh Ved Pathak, CEO of Skilling and Mentoring Automotive Component Manufacturers Association, ACMA, with an experience of over than 28 years. He is a member of National Steering Committee, NSC, and also the member of Governing Council, GC, for Institute Management Committee, IMC, Society for Government, ITI, Sonipat, and Sectoral Core Committee member for the Mobility Sector, AFEF-ICC, Just Transitions India Program. I welcome to you, sir. Mr. Kiran Chopra, Chairman and Managing Director, Chopra Retech Rubber Products Limited. He has traveled globally in connection with business and exports. Mr. Kiran Chopra has bought the companies that he leads on a global platform as a market leader. He was also nominated to the Prime Minister Task Force panel for MSMEs. He has also headed various panels at CII, regionally and nationally on infrastructure, exports, MSMEs and memberships. I welcome to you, sir, on this panel. And this panel is moderated by Shri Vinod Kumar, President of India SME Forum. May I now welcome Shri Vinod Kumar, President of India SME Forum, to conduct this panel discussion on export potential and building ecosystem. Uh, we also have a special guest from UPS, Mr. Brito Prem Kumar, Area Sales Manager and Sales and Solution UPS India. I'm sorry, I just skipped his name here from the panel. Mr. Brito Kumar is Area Sales Manager who leads Sales and Solution Business Unit in Southwest India, that is Karnataka, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, for UPS Express Private Limited. He has close to 16 years of experience in business development across South India in domestic, international, freight forwarding and express logistics industry. I welcome to you here, sir, on the panel. And over to you,
Thank you.
Vinod, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pranav, and a warm welcome to all my co-panelists, especially Mercy Ma'am. As usual, Mercy Ma'am is busy in her own office. She's been traveling also a hell of a lot. So a warm welcome to you, ma'am, and a warm welcome to Kiranji, Dineshji, Mr. Prem Kumar, everybody here. This is a very important topic primarily because, Pranav did take us all through the length and breadth of the sector in terms of exports, and we have quite a few specialists here. We are talking about close to, as of today, close to 118,000 people who have joined the India Exports Initiative in the past 1 year. We have completed a year in this initiative so far. And we are expecting that most of these people that we have reached out to, got them on board the India Exports Initiative. They will take the first step of getting into exports and looking at obviously the opportunities that are there. And we have all the panelists here today to take us all through that. Before I start, I'd like to request Mercy Ma'am to please give us an opening statement. And with the fact that, when we talk about automobile and the auto ancillary sector, it is basically the most potential sector which can fuel Atmanirbhar Bharat, the mission that we have across the country. We're also talking about lots of challenges that the sector has in terms of competition from various markets, lack of skilled labor, also internal market, sometimes it is unorganized. Financing is still cited as a major issue. And there are various issues that we all know. But we also know that the government has been sincerely working on removing obstacles, bringing ease of business to the ecosystem, and at the same time working on brand India around the world by pushing Indian entrepreneurs to the forefront. So, ma'am, I would like you to please start with an opening statement.
Thank you, Vinodji, and good afternoon to all my esteemed members here. I would like to congratulate the SME Forum for actively engaging the industry and the government and contributing a lot in our MSME ecosphere. I congratulate you for today's webinar. We are all aware that India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. And with this going, it is expected that India will become the second by 2030. This is the report from the World Economic Forum. and the economic reforms implemented by the government in the key areas are taking shape in various initiatives and programs and facilitating spur in economic empowerment and growth across India. Now, drawing our attention towards the indispensable role of the MSMEs sector in strengthening our economy, we are all aware that MSME contributes hugely to our GDP. Our manufacturing base comes mostly from here. Our exports is also good as far as the MSMEs are concerned. So looking at this particular segment, the automobile and the ancillary part that we are discussing today, I was just going through the Invest India website, and it is written that India auto component industry contributes 2.1% to the GDP and provides employment to 5 million people. That's a little different from what our earlier speaker has said, but I've just seen the Invest India. But although our numbers differ a bit, we know that it contributes significantly to our economic growth. And the $46 billion for financial year 2021, auto components industry in India is expected to grow to $200 billion by 2026. Indian auto component industry exports, which are currently valued at $13.3 billion in FY21, are expected to reach $80 billion by 2026. This is written on the investindia.gov.in website. As you are also aware that the PLI scheme announced by the Honorable Prime Minister for automobile sector proposes financial incentives up to 18% to boost domestic manufacturing of advanced automotive technology products and attract investments in the automotive manufacturing value chain. Efforts are being made in all directions to boost exports and promote bilateral trade. Ministry of MSME is engaging continuously with various countries to explore collaboration opportunities to extend the support and support the MSMEs. The ministry has established export facilitation centers, EFCs, a total of 52 numbers across the country. This has been set up with an aim to provide requisite mentoring and hand-holding support to the MSMEs in exporting their products and services into the global market. Government has taken various initiatives also for all-round development of MSMEs, and I think our schemes that we implement are not new to you. You are already aware of what we do. And for example, at an early stage of the pandemic, several medical items and auxiliary items such as face masks, PPE, sanitizer, face shield, etc. were all imported from China. But we also know that how MSME proactively helped our own industry to gear up and then not only meet the demand, but also now we are in the phase where we are exporting these items to other countries also. Now, Ministry of MSME is also working towards upliftment of the MSMEs through various schemes of our ministry. You know the various verticals that we work for: infrastructure development, credit and finance facilitation, technology upgradation, skill development, which are very important for the MSME ecosystem. Finance and credit assistance, of course, you are aware of the PMEGP and also the Credit Guarantee Trust Fund, CGTMSE. You're already aware of those things. Recently, if you are following our MSMEs, you will find that we have also launched a new scheme called MSME Champion Scheme. Under these, we have a Z scheme, which is Z certification. 3 certifications are there: bronze, silver, and gold. These are the levels of certification that your unit get after rating. And MSME Champion Scheme has been formulated as a holistic approach to unify, synergize, and converge various schemes and interventions with a single purpose. The end objective is to pick up clusters and enterprises and modernize their processes, reduce wastages, sharpen business competitiveness, and facilitate their national and global reach and excellence. So these are the 3 components under which ministry's new scheme called MSME Champion works. MSME Sustainable, comes Z, and Competitive, and also MSME Innovative. And under the MSME Innovative, we have 3 sub-components, which are incubation, IPR, design, and digital. And you are already aware of that without having me to go through that. And financial assistance are given, especially in the incubation, where host institutes such as IITs and IIMs are already identified, and your ideas are incubated there, and then it is developed into a viable business model. And we are also giving money, financial assistance for the design intervention, and of course IPR. So these are some of the gaps that we feel that the MSMEs are facing. So government has taken a initiative to introduce these for our MSMEs support. And we also, of course, have this digital MSME scheme, which is to make all the MSMEs digitally empowered and motivate them to adopt digital tools, applications, and technologies in their production and business processes, with a view to improve their competitiveness in domestic and global market. And you all must be aware of our 30th June program, where our Honorable Prime Minister came, and our technical partner was SME Forum. They did a great work. And in that program, our Prime Minister launched a capacity building for first-time MSME exporters. So under this component, we have three assistance which we give to our MSMEs. First is reimbursement of registration cum membership fees to all the exports councils. So we have already signed 19 MOUs with EPCs and also ECGC and NSIC. Okay, and then the second part, we are giving export insurance premium. We are footing that, and also the testing and quality certification for all the products and services that MSME would like to improve. So we are giving those help so that our MSMEs can become competent and also compatible in the global market. Now, MSME chapters are a new introduction in almost all the free trade agreement, FTAs, that we are already doing it. And we have already done Canada. So there we have a very good chapter on MSMEs, almost finalized except for the final one. But since some of the components are still, under negotiation, but MSME chapter is already over. And then India, EU, India, UK, Australia, UAE. In all these FTAs, MSME chapter is a separate chapter because all these countries realize the importance of MSMEs. So with the signing of MOU, there's going to be a whole lot of opportunities for our MSMEs, including automobile segment. Now, under our international corporations, we also help our MSMEs to participate in various fairs and exhibitions where they can build their capacity, understand the ecosystem, and also find out new markets where they can export their products and services. So for this financial year, we have approved 61 exhibitions and fairs. And in some of the fairs, our SME forums are the lead, and others, of course, we are giving to all our industry associations. And we also have approved numerous conferences where think tanks and then the experts in the field are invited, and where government is engaged, industry is engaged, and we are having several conferences, mega conferences every now and then under our IC scheme. And ministry is working very, very actively in order to engage the industry and also the government and the various platforms that are there, so that we can develop the ecosystem. Now, as far as the skilling and capacity building is concerned, yes, financial literacy and also the documentation that are required, various regulations that are required for exporting goods, we are also looking into that very actively. And in order to bring all our MSMEs into the formal sector, we are also working very hard to spread the awareness of the Udyam registration, and also to bring in the parity of workforce between male and female. Our hope for the this India 2047 is that the women workforce will come up to 50%. So MSME has certain milestone to achieve, and we have also contributed our inputs for the India vision at 2047. And so we are working very hard to achieve those things. And so I wish SME Forum and also all our speakers for today's webinar. I'm sure the deliberation today will also give clarity of roadmap, especially for automobile segment. And I thank the SME Forum for organizing this webinar. My very best wishes to all of you. Good evening. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I mean, we all know the amount of work, hard work that you are putting in. I think there's rarely been a joint secretary who has traveled so much and isn't, working continuously on everything so much. I mean, we are all aware of that. I think Dinesh ji also concurs with me. So thank you very much for your for giving us time today for that opening statement. I think most of the things that we wanted to talk about in terms of what the government is offering, you've already accounted for. There's very little that is left now for me to account for, but that was really very comprehensive. Thank you very much for giving us the time, and we are sure we will come back to you with a report on the entire India Exports initiative, how it has gone and what we have done so far, ma'am. Thank you. With that, I am going to basically now approach Kiranji. Kiranji, you are talking about being in exports. Your company has been one of the premier exporting companies as far as the sector is concerned. At the same time, we are talking about the first time ever we've crossed a $700 million trade surplus as far as the sector is concerned. Where do you think we are heading towards, and what do you think are the challenges that are still existing?
Thank you, Vinodji, and good afternoon to my fellow panelists. Well, I think we are at a very sweet spot, both as a country in terms of manufacturing capabilities and the automobile sector in particular. Because, we are probably the fourth or fifth largest ecosystem for the automobile sector, probably the largest for the two-wheeler sector, doing over 25 million. So I guess these numbers are by themselves testimony to India's capability in the automobile sector. And therefore, I feel that with the global sentiment post-pandemic shifting from China to other sourcing destinations, and China plus one, and now more recently, even Europe plus one. So the opportunity, the market is wide open. It is for Indian companies to upgrade their capabilities and reach into global markets, which is something that is a joint venture between government and associations and the industry. So I think that is very crucial. Seizing the opportunity is only possible if we are able to scale up to the needs of the global markets. And to be able to scale up, we must also be abreast with global manufacturing standards and technologies. So there is going to be a uniform playing field as far as technology building is concerned. I feel the opportunity to grab existing technologies in Europe, which are struggling to survive, is probably an inorganic process that Indian MSMEs can look at. At the same time, if you look at our contribution from the manufacturing sector to the GDP, we are still languishing in the 20% range. And I think to touch that 5 trillion mark, manufacturing is perhaps the only sector which can gain that momentum for our achieving that target of 5 trillion. So yes, the opportunity, I also feel that the Indian manufacturing capability is underexposed, which is why we need to leverage our trade missions in different parts of the world to propagate and expose Indian manufacturing capabilities to possible importing destinations across the world. So I do feel that we are at a very sweet spot, and perhaps the time is very opportune for us to grab these great opportunities of servicing the automotive sector, because we have already done all the groundwork. Today, probably every make and model of car in the planet is either assembled or manufactured in India. So our exposure to that technology is very comprehensive. Our development of components so far has been top class, world class. And when I visit global markets, we get a lot of respect for all the good work that India is doing. So yes, it is a great place to be in at this time in India in the automotive component sector.
Excellent, sir. In fact, Dinesh ji, I want to come to you after this. But Kiran ji also talked about the fact that we are at a sweet spot right now with the plethora of opportunities, right now facing us. But at the same time, we need to have entrepreneurs. We need to have the industry come forward and embrace the change, embrace global standards. While at the same time, we also need the government to support us in exposing our manufacturing to the global industry and making more noise about it, specifically if we need to say that. And I think the government is working on something of a trade promotion body, which is going to be a singular trade promotion body working in consonance with the embassies and the economic wing officers across the world to promote. But looking inwards, back in India, being the largest organization for automotive components in India, what are your plans of supporting entrepreneurs, bringing them to up to date with standards, up to date with the skill requirements that they have, and as well as bringing them to face to face with consumers or customers around the world?
Vinod, you are asking me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. First of all, thank you very much. And I am fully with Chopra sir. And this is the peak time for India to grow. I fully agree. And I think what our Srimati Mercy Pau secretary, joint secretary said, in fact, she spoke my area only because I'm the CEO for skilling and mentoring.
Yes.
If you allow me to show one slide, I think that speaks to everything. So can I present one slide?
Please do show, sir.
Yeah.
Pranav, can Mr. Dinesh show the slide that we have?
Are you able to see my slide?
Not yet.
Not yet. 1 minute, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, we can see it now.
Yeah. Now I want to just go to some two pictures. Now see what Chopra sir and others said, that we are at a very sweet spot. Now I divide my talk into two areas. One is within wall to wall, that is the shop floor, and outside is the logistics and what are the schemes and what are the trade fairs and all that. This is the picture from Jamshedpur, and with this picture, I think we cannot compete to the world. And whatever the right side picture you are able to see, this is the same company turn around like a wow factor within 3 months time. So we may have a vision, but unless we have a very dedicated leadership activities in the company, I think things will be difficult. So these are the pictures, and let me tell you very proudly, if you see on the left side screen, the product name, it is called dust cover line. And the dust cover means above the tires, whatever you see the metal plate, that is the dust cover. And you can see that dust cover is manufactured in a dust-free atmosphere. And you can see my photograph also sleeping on the floor. So to do that activity, I think I have 3 specific slides. I think I will speak only within the wall, that is in manufacturing side, that we struggle a lot. We have a lot of firefighting and all that. I think time has come to stabilize and look inside and let us build a system. As an Indian, I can tell you that there are many companies, including rubber companies or any other casting companies, where the similar pictures are there, and these companies are growing very fast rate. In our product development cycle, we see that if your new business is coming around, say, 15% or more from entirely new products, I think you are a growing company. And for that, I think we have to build a very strong PDCA culture. And to do that activity, I think we should concentrate on my product specific activities, safety, TI, quality, and whatever the expertise are required. I think either you can develop yourself or you can take help of ACMA or ministry, MSME ministry like Xports Forum and other things. And you can have a strong KPIs inside the company. Another issue is how we solve the problems. In my technical terms, I say that everybody does only 2 activities. We push the material from one end to the other end, that is the raw material to finished goods, and we only solve the problem from morning to evening. I think the time has come to embrace the systems. Either you can do digitally or any other method, but I think we have to believe on the system. And if the systems are taking decisions, I think India will be the number one country in very short time. Whatever the 5 trillion target is there, I think I don't find any difficulty if we little bit upgrade our manufacturing system to the next level so we can compete in terms of cost, quality, and delivery. So I think with this, I will stop sharing and I will come back to my talk. That it is very good thing to share that I am working with ACMA from last 20 years. And I worked in a company which is number one in the world, that is Bharat Forge. So I know in the recession 1996, that was a recession time, and I am very proud to tell you that in the recession, Bharat Forge acquired many new businesses, including their competitor in Germany.
Yes.
So I think Chopra sir has said one good word, many good words he said, but I want to pick one word. We need to scale up actually. Yesterday I saw a small video of our Indian Railways that they have developed a train indigenous coaches. I think some 58 coaches they have developed, and they took a trial run. I think that TED talk is a motivation speech for everybody. They say that we don't believe in ourselves. Let us start believing. Let us start taking the risk. I think the world is going to run behind us. Today we are running behind the world. I think the time has come to let the world come to us. And last point is that we should know where the problem is. Let me tell you, most of the time we don't know the problem. And I'm a good teacher, that's why I can say that what we see is a result. Suppose you got a problem, that is not a problem. You see the result. Now, problem means what you can't see. So my appeal to all the industries is that don't say that I'm a small company. There is nothing called small. You're already a big company. That's why you are doing a good business. Now, whatever the issues are there, like you go to doctor, now you should tell what is the problem. Doctor cannot say that I will diagnose. He will only diagnose once you say. So my appeal to all the companies, there are forums like ACMA or many other agencies are there. Please come forward and tell your problems, technical problem, technological problems, skill problems. And next week I'll be in Germany. We have signed a MOU with BFZ. See, we take always name of Germany in the skilling area. And ACMA is going to do a pilot project now in coming months for dual education system. That's why I'm on the board of ITI also. So if I upgrade the ITI people to the next level, and ACMA got a center of excellence also in Sonipat. So I think skilling area, I think we are moving in the right direction. Only the right question to be asked to the right agency. And lastly, I want to compliment all the forum today, the ISME, and particularly the ministries. I think we can learn a lot of things from government of India. I think most digitized sector is government of India, and I become very proud as a citizen. So many compliments to you and all the team. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. In fact, very, very interesting points. We talk about quality as being the base of the entire automotive sector. Kiran sir, when we talk about quality to most entrepreneurs, sometimes we feel that quality is not at the top of the mind of each entrepreneur. They are more interested in churning out stuff at times, and which is something which is basically going to create a big issue when it comes to exporting your products. Because if you do not have quality in your system itself right from the very base, it is not going to help you reach or access international markets at all.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, I would like to go a step further. It is not the quality, but the quality of the quality that you're, presenting to the customer. Now, let me put it differently. We all, when we want to sell a product, even in the global markets, we just try to sell a good product. But what we are missing out in is selling a good experience. It's not just a product. We have to sell an experience to the customer. For example, in our history of 40 years, we have not lost a single export customer. And the reason we proudly say that is because we have built our business up around relationships, not relationships around businesses. So, we maintain relationships with even buyers who due to recessionary situations were unable to buy it for some time, but they came back only to us because we had built such a strong relationship as a buyer supplier situation. Now, the components of this good experience, I can list a few things that really matter. One, that we are good at, and India's forte is that we are very good at communication. That means our ability to communicate in the English language, which is universally an accepted means of communication. We are very good at that. The second component of a good experience is giving not just quality, but consistently good quality. That means repetitive shipments that you make should probably meet or exceed the customer's expectations. Third is that we must have a product range that is so fulfilling that the customer does not look elsewhere for getting supporting his needs. That means the range of products is very crucial. And today, market intelligence and information in the public domain allows us to access all of this information, which in turn we can share with our customer and actually tell him that we know a little more about your market than you do yourself. And that gives him the confidence that you're ahead of the curve as far as delivering products for the future is concerned. So that is one. Of course, ability to now custom pack, because what is happening is the cost of everything in developed markets is becoming very prohibitive. So customers are branding, packaging everything so that it moves from shelf to shelf to shelf to their customer's shelf without having to sort of intervene in the entire supply chain. So this is a very important aspect that Indian companies must build upon, and which is ability to customize packaging for the customer. Different products categories would probably have different needs, but yes, it is extremely important to have that. And of course, more importantly is that we must keep upgrading our standards to match the customer's needs today, because fortunately, today, automation and Industry 4.0 tools are readily available. There are companies which can handhold you right through the process of becoming more efficient in your manufacturing process. So yes, these are areas which we don't have to worry about so much as perhaps we had to do maybe 15 years ago or 20 years ago. And of course, it is very important for us to also understand that when a customer is looking at you as a supplier, he's looking at a long-term relationship. So that long-term relationship concept has to be embedded in the beginning when you start a relationship with a customer. So these are certain aspects which matter. I feel that quality is, of course, on top, and consistently good quality is very important. And last but not the least, despite our logistic challenges that we face in India compared to other markets exporters like China, we must learn to deliver on time. I think that is the most crucial part of having a very sustainable supply chain with our customers overseas.
Very correct, sir. Very correct. In fact, Prem Kumar, I will come to you. Chopra Saab talked about the fact that there are challenges, and there are challenges in the supply chain. There are challenges when it comes to just in time or just in sequence that we used to call. What is your feedback that you have? You work very, very positively with the entire automobile industry when it comes to exports. So what are your key insights that you have?
Thank you, Mr. Vinod Kumar and panel members for this opportunity. Actually, if you look at, in terms of the initial discussion that Mr. Kiran Chopra and Dinesh also agreed on the point that India in sweet spot for the auto component industry. I like to add few points which strengthen that particular point. In fact, you, Mr. Vinod Kumar, also said that the industry is with a 700 million surplus. If you look at, when we compare last year and last previous year with regards to auto component industry, it has grown at 43%. And that is from a $13.3 billion to $19 billion that the export of auto components have grown. So we do have challenges. In fact, to add one more point, to the point that Mr. Chopra said, I like to go to the McKinsey company's study along with ACMA, which is submitted in the recent convention of ACMA. There is a study that talks about opportunities which is coming along with the challenges. The challenges that is there in the global supply chain, if you look at, there are geopolitical forces which have impacted the global trade relations that we do across major markets like US, Europe, and China. Along with that, the challenges of recent time, which is include pandemic, which Chopra sir covered, and along with that, now the war in Ukraine have fueled the disruption in the global supply chain. If you look at, these are the challenges that is there in the global supply chain at the same time, which is bringing an opportunity for India. I like to refer the McKinsey report again, which talks about a non-near shore import of US and Europe market. This two market is giving almost $250 billion of auto component import opportunities or export opportunity for the world, out of which 30% of the market share was covered by China, whereas Indian auto component manufacturer is covering just 4.6%. So the geopolitical situation in the globe for the last 4-5 years, last few years time, as well as the pandemic and the war in Ukraine, is giving an opportunity for Indian auto component manufacturers to put them in front of now global customers as an alternative option, and they need to come forward to grab this opportunity. In fact, if you look at the challenges in the logistics industry, if you look at for Indian SMBs, there are certain challenges that they have. Reaching or connecting to international market is one of their challenges. How we as a UPSs help them to reach the marketers. We myself engage with auto components manufacturing customers in south part of India, whereas I like to share one of the experience what we have done for one of our customers. There is a customer, he's a tier 1 supplier to OEM in US. He's having a warehouse based out of Detroit. He ship regular containers on a weekly basis to the Detroit. From there he supplies as a just-in-time based process. So the milk run vehicle of the OEM come and pick up the product from the customer warehouse. He faced an unexpected situation because the destination customs rejected the entire container and returned to India because of the poor fumigation followed in the products. So the customer is keeping only a week long material, whereas the entire container got rejected. The customer was in unfortunate situation where their inventory is go to zero, and the OEM's production line about to get shut. So customer called us for support. We were able to quickly rope the subject matter experts and bring the entire team in place to support the customers to move their shipments on time through our UPS Express network. And we helped them by pre-clearing the shipments in the destination in US and helped them to deliver the shipments on time. And that helped customer not just avoid the production shut. It also helped the OEMs to avoid their production loss, as well as the situation like a penalty clause of the supplier also avoided.
Yes.
So these are the areas, challenges are there, but the auto component manufacturer who goes beyond these challenges and invite UPS service provider like UPS, which is a very international, reaching international markets, that we can help them to come up to avoid these kind of a challenges that they may be facing in the industry.
Thank you. That was a very well noted point. I mean, I think these challenges are very regular. Dineshji wants to add something. Yes, Dinesh.
I want to add two things. Actually, I supposed to be here at up to 4 o'clock because I have another meeting, so I'll be leaving. So Chopra sir, my apology, I'll be leaving in 2 minutes. I have only 2 points to say that. See, there are challenges, but I think I don't see any challenge unless I have not tried or tested and failed. My style is that unless I fail, I don't see that is a challenge.
Challenge,
You should
yes.
have a passion. Nah? I don't see any problem. See, problem means what you have not tried actually. And I want to just give 2-3 lines examples. In fact, I am ready to come back and speak to the entire MSME forum as my duty on the word quality. I think we have misunderstood the word quality. Quality doesn't mean the product quality. I think both the panelists also said something similar to that. See, the quality is a matter of a decision making. So problem is present till you don't take the decision, and this formula you can apply in your family also, in your professional life also. Problem is present till I have not taken the decision. So 2 technical examples I can give you that I have a lot of rework, and $1 million question: when will stop the rework? And there is no end. So let me give one solid example that you got a kid and he got say 100 Fahrenheit temperature, like 106. You go to doctor, and now doctor is also like your company employee. Na? He will write a PDCA, he will make a FMEA, he will generate an action plan. He say, okay, you take this tablet, 1 degree will come in 1 month's time or 1 Fahrenheit. Then you become very angry. Na? No, I want a permanent solution so that my kid temperature will be normal. And let me tell you, I'm a good trainer and I drive the zero defect quality program and lot of good programs. I'm not doing advertisement here. The time has come to say yes or no from today. When I will stop the rework? Right now. And I think it is a pinch for one day. And I just want to quote one more example of Mr. Prem Kumar, that we are fed up with the inventories. And suppose I have imported material already. Let me tell you the good sign, Chopraji. Good sign is that we are in a sweet position of export, but I think other bad sign is we are also similar tone for the imports. So both way we are kissing together. So I think a lot of localization activities are happening. So one good example I will quote you. We are stuck up in the word called benchmarks. We say that I always compare say foundry to foundry or rubber to rubber. I don't believe in benchmark. Let me tell you, there is a rubber company in Madurai. If you want, I can take you there. You can sleep on the shop floor with the coat and suit. And that company, when I was teaching to them, they asked, what is the rubber company benchmark? Then I said, rubber company rejection is 0.6%. That is 6,000 ppm. Then they said they want to see the company. I said, I will create your company now. So initially rejection was 7. And let me tell you very proudly, today they are operating at 0.59%. Now it is not a mindset. This is another last word from mindset. It is not a mindset. We have a set mind actually to become number 2 always.
Very
Who
correct.
achieve, then I will try. I don't think this is the right methodology. I will try myself. Na? Like Thomas Edison, I asked the general question. Thomas Edison failed how many times? People say very proudly 1,000 times. He never failed actually. This is a very common example. So I think the time has come to challenge everything and start saying no. No means no. No rework. And quality, I think if anybody discussing quality, I think we are not going to compete in the world. Quality not to be
Absolutely.
discussed. Either it is accepted quality and the rejected quality. And last one word I will give you. You go to any company, they will say this is an export product and this is a domestic product. I think this set mind is there now. Till that time, we cannot achieve the
Very
global.
correct.
For me, everything is like one home example I'll give you. Suppose you got old food. What you do, you give to the maid. I have very strong reservation onto that. What you can't eat, how you can give to the maid? It is
Made.
political also that why to waste the food. But I think time has come that we will have one common benchmark like employee toilet, same, staff toilet, same, MD toilet, same. If you
Yes.
have the same scenario, I think you are a world-class company. And I think my apology for cutting down short today because I have to travel to some other location. But I promise you that please invite me. And I think the same
Definitely.
panelists, we can have a 2-3 hour session on what is quality and how we can grow together. With these words, I think
Thank
Chopraji,
you.
with apology from my side, please accept my apology. I'll take leave, but I'll catch you very shortly, sir. Prem
Thank
Kumar
you.
ji, thank you very much, and Vinod Kumar ji, thank you very much. I will take your leave. If there are
Thank
any questions, we can speak offline, and if anybody company want to contact us, I will give a, you can say, complimentary service to them. So don't worry for that. I am not here to get the money. So
Excellent.
with this, I wish all
Well,
the best. It is an
there,
extraordinary
there,
forum, and I love
there
that.
are
So thank you.
there are more than 400 people watching this, so I'm sure they will definitely take you up at this offer.
You can
Thank
go
you
to the
very much,
internet and
Kiranji.
you can get my details also, no problem. Or you can call my office. I am in
Yes, sir.
ACMA. You can contact anyone. I am there to support India. No problem.
Excellent,
So
sir.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much. Thank you,
All the
sir.
best.
In fact, I am going to go over to Kiranji. Very important point that Dinesh sir raised, which was that how are we going to finally reduce the dependency on imports? Because on one side we are saying that we have an export budget, but how is it finally that we can create a situation where we no longer dependent on imports for creating our exports?
Well, I think we are heading in the right direction. The PLI scheme, the Atmanirbhar Bharat slogan that has been perpetuated through the manufacturing sector, all of these are policies which are pointing in that direction. Yes, our dependency on our largest import, which is oil, is something that will also probably to some extent be mitigated by the advent of alternate fuels and electric vehicle usage. Although a large part of oil used elsewhere in the world goes towards energy, but for us, perhaps oil is more on account of mobility. So yes, this is a challenge. The government is very seized of the situation. Our reserves have depleted by almost 100 billion in the last few months. So that is something that is going to be of a huge concern to not just us but all the policymakers. But in the meanwhile, I do feel that as the momentum for manufacturing growth and exports is shifting towards Asia and India in particular, because we have the size and ability to scale and create size which perhaps the Vietnams and the Cambodias and Thailands and the Malaysias around us are probably not as capable of doing.
Very
Uh,
correct.
I mean, just to cite an example, I was talking to some of my clients in the US, and they are preparing to send a team sometime in the next month to India to assess our ability to scale up beyond what we are already doing. So their original percentages that they dealt with in their supply chain was 70% from China and 30% from elsewhere, including India. Now they want to reverse that figure. They want to make it 70% from elsewhere and 30% from China. Of course, it's a process they have to gradually move towards. And they wanted to understand our capability to move from an existing capacity to maybe 3 times or 2 times what we are already doing with the client. So these are very, very crucial phases in our journey as suppliers to the global auto component industry. And therefore, that when the transition happens and when our manufacturing contribution to exports grows by about 10 or 15%, all of that imbalance that you're looking at in terms of trade deficit or trade surplus will change, because even if we have to import oil, if we are exporting a similar component of whatever we manufacture, so that will to a large extent sort of offset that import bill that we create.
Excellent. I'm going to go to Mr. Prem Kumar. We've almost out of time, but last summation. We all keep on talking about SMEs and MSMEs that are a very important segment as far as the industry is concerned. So, how do we encourage more MSMEs to get into exports? We've already been working together on getting people into India exports, and we targeted around 1 lakh of people. We got a little more than that. But how do you finally, edge them on to become exporters?
So, if you look at, we from UPS, our purpose is to move the world forward by delivering what matters to our customers. Particularly, local business and SMBs are focus area for UPS. UPS have, two gateway from India, one from Delhi, another from Bengaluru. If you look at SMBs from India, can make use of this facility to leverage the opportunity that comes out of Europe and US to to reach the businesses across the Europe and US through the network that we have established in Delhi as well as in Bangalore. If you look at SMBs, they don't have to worry much about the challenges that they may face in the international market. They can call us. We export can help them to manage their export part in a better way. Whatever the challenges that they may have, we can help them. In fact, if you look at our solution engagement specialist do engage in deep conversation with the customer to understand their requirement and help them to manage their logistic part in a better way by optimizing their costs and by helping them to improve their efficiency and overall cost of the operations. In fact, if you look at India is a place where everyone cannot accept same solutions. So one solution does not fit to everyone. So we can understand the customer requirement and give them the customized solution for them, and then help them to manage their logistic part globally in a better way. If you look at UPS have our direct offices across 220 countries and territories. This is one of the international package delivery company. We can help SMBs as long as SMB have established their markets or the customer across the globe. We can help them to reach anywhere across the globe and deliver their packages on a right time and right place and a right cost.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar. Sir, the same question to you, Kiran sir. Now, when we are talking about MSMEs in general, those that are working at the lower end of the entire value chain, what we find is majority of them are not spurred on by export. We have to tell them you'll earn more, it'll be a bigger market, you will have a much bigger footprint, you won't be dependent on just one company to give you an order and you are working for them. So a lesser risk, so many things that we tell people. But we still have a situation where a majority of these people are used to the way they are working and used to the numbers that they have. So in spite of, you might paint a very rosy picture of, the fact that we have, it's key for economic growth for us to export. Most MSMEs are on a back foot. So how do we get them to actually, start exporting?
Well, the answer is very simple. Exporting is simpler than doing domestic business because, as having understood how the domestic ecosystem works, unfortunately, the domestic, I say unfortunately, but ironically, the domestic demand has been so strong that Indian companies never really needed to look at global markets, as an opportunity. When we started in the 1980s, the automobile sector had two vehicles being manufactured in India, the Ambassador and the Fiat, and they made something like 2,000 vehicles a month, which they probably make in a day or less today. So the opportunity, and we were sitting in a landlocked situation in Lucknow, where one plant was in Calcutta and one was in Maharashtra and Mumbai, and there was no way we could, be just-in-time suppliers for 2,000 vehicles, and they always had 2 or 3 suppliers anyway.
Yes.
So we realized at that time that, first of all, we decided that we want to do volumes and we want to build scale. That is the first basis on which, if you want to remain as, unfortunately, again, the Indian ecosystem for MSMEs in the past, the license Raj and the inspector Raj, they kind of incentivized us to stay small.
Yes.
And now the policies have changed completely. They're completely the flip side of that is they incentivize us to grow as big as we want to, because the world is your marketplace. So in that context, I feel that today, if despite the domestic opportunity being strong, if a company were to build scale and create additional capacity for export, that would probably be something that needs to be inculcated in the MSMEs today through your forum or through any other platform. And of course, the policies today are conducive. The entire process of exporting is so much simpler than supplying to domestic companies. The levels of interference in the entire supply chain are minimal. Once you have, of course, the right quality at the right price and the rightly packaged goods, the challenge in India is the logistics part. That means getting the product on the vessel on time, if it is to be sailing by sea, or on the aircraft in time, if it is by air, and ensuring that the customer gets his good when he wants them. So, but after that, when you're dealing with tier 2, tier 1 clients across the world, the goods are received, the payment is immediately received in your bank on the due date, the orders are consistently supplied through their web portals. There's no system of getting a purchase order and going through a supply process where you have to go to the stores department, go to one level and the next level. Everything ceases to exist for you once the good leaves the shore and arrive at the customer's warehouse. After that, it's clockwork. So the entire process, even the customs today, the entire process has been simplified. I think, as ma'am mentioned, there's a lot that needs to be done in terms of paperwork. So, I mean, just to summarize how the world has changed, first thing, geography has become history. And science fiction is becoming reality. What we imagined is now actually happening around us. Third, business is happening at the speed of thought. Literally, any time zone, anywhere you are actually transacting business. A fourth, of course, very importantly, you cannot exist in isolation. And therefore, you have to become part of the global ecosystem. And finally, change is the only constant. So if we don't adapt to this only constant that happens every day in our lives, we are going to be somewhere low in the supply chain. So definitely, it's for us to realize that scale is needed to be built, and a part of what we do for the domestic market needs to also to be its capacity needs to be created for the global market. Because as I mentioned at the beginning, we are at a sweet spot because the size of the opportunity is increasing every day. Global manufacturing in developed markets is reducing because of the prohibitive cost of doing the same thing, and they are now accepting good quality supply sources, including from India. And the reliability factor, I mean, this is from my own personal opinion of interacting with my clients who buy both from China and from, is that rate us higher in terms of their vendor classification.
Very correct. Very correct, sir. With that, I mean, we've come to an end to the discussion today, but we are going to come back with more in the next season. This season, this is the last webinar or the last broadcast that we are going to have. We will definitely come back with the next season, and we look forward to many more of you coming on board, because even though we've had an initial target of 100,000 people, from where we've gradually sort of pushed it to 118,000 people, but the fact is that we are looking at many more people in India to come forward, look at exports. And as Kiranji mentioned, there are so many possibilities when you talk about looking at a larger market, looking at a bigger footprint, and all the other uses that we have when it comes to exports. Life is simpler, and if you want a simpler life, export is the way forward. There's no two ways about it. With that, Pranav, I'm pushing the webinar back to you, with thanks to Sri Kiran Chopra and Mr. Brito Prem Kumar for being here. Also, my thanks to Mercy ma'am and Mr. Pathak, Mr. Ved Pathak, who left us a little bit early, but he had also some pearls of wisdom which he gave us. So thank you all for this wonderful interaction.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vinod Kumar.
Thank you.
A conclusion of today's webinar, and we all saw that this sector has immense scope for growth in both cases when it comes to when you talk about domestic demand as well as exports. The industry needs to build on advanced manufacturing capabilities, focus on skill development, and strengthen the entire infrastructure of automobile and ancillary and auto ancillary. Government support and enabling policies have gone a long way in ensuring that this sector thrives and contributes to the economy. To conclude, in a very highly competitive global environment with the biggest competitors being USA and China, India's auto ancillary industry and auto industry is making every effort to thrive. The MSME in this sector also needs a more enabling domestic environment, not only give the industry a boost, but also empower it to continue to support the government's Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative. Also, I would like to add one more thing, that we have launched India Exports Portal, where our target was to orient and to have 1 lakh registered MSMEs at the start of this program. But today, I would like to share that we have crossed more than 1 lakh registration. The figure what I have today is 1 lakh 18,000 entrepreneurs who have registered on this portal. That is, we have crossed our target by 18,000 more registrations. With this, we conclude the today's session. I thank all the panelists, our moderator who have conducted the session, and our attendees who have attended the session. I thank you. I thank our logistics and warehousing partner, UPS, and also our knowledge partner, SDRC International. Thank you. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
When others feared what was to come, you saw a sliver of light, opportunity. And while some tried to go back, you're going all in. Rethinking, reinventing, smashing through new barriers and old fears. And we're right there with you, in the trenches, still grinding, still climbing, as you rally and rise. You are the one who can make this whole world turn. So be bold, be brave, be unstoppable.